Yes. Day 7, first week of the 77-day STILLENCE Odyssey Challenge Project Experiment. I want to nickname this Super Saturday and all the Saturdays. Okay, the question, there was a question that came up. What happens after 77 days? Well, for you guys, it's okay to let go, you know. But I've been compelled to continue the 2 hour a day, because it's already seeing the benefits I'm getting out of it. Being more attuned, aligned with spirit, and I'll first talk about certain things about stillness, and then I'll go on. So I find stillness is a place where, you could get a bit of what you're getting stillness, like, let's say when I'm on a surfboard in the ocean without waves. I also get that same benefit when I'm in the beach or the forest. Well, one thing you're going to notice is the calmness in those environments. And the same way that the external calmness, you're getting it into your head, you're getting into your mind. Because I will talk about how I've gotten, it seems like a lot of questions to do with, like, do we forget our mind? And I'll address that later in this video. Okay. So stillness is basically a place where you can get into alone with yourself. Again, the whole idea is because you don't spend enough time with yourself, getting to know yourself, right? The whole thing came out from Psalms. Be still and know that I'm God. And a lot of us are believers, a lot of us are not. But those who are believers, we know the God that's been preached to us. We know the God that's been advertised. But I cannot say that you really know God personally. So if I ask you who God is, you're going to give me the Bible answers. See, I found that God is such a funny personality. He is funny. And He really, really loves people, to a point where it does not make sense sometimes that the love is over, it's audacious, it's relentless. So stillness is the place where, see, in meditation and the New Age kind of thought, they use meditation to get the benefits. They use meditation to get somewhere. In stillness, you're trying to be in a place where you can receive from God, but you can also start understanding yourself better, understanding your behaviors, again, what happens is the process of it happening becomes effortlessly, where you start being a different you, okay? Being a you that walks in this life where I say it's the truer you. So, however you do stillness, that's fine. It's personal to you. There's no method, there's no practice. Again, you are more important than the method. You are more important than the practice. So when I get questions regarding stillness, let's say, about how do I do this or that, I am hesitant to give you an answer because I do not know the context of your life, and there's no relationship for the questions that have been asked. I don't have a relationship with you, so I don't really know how to give that answer, which I think is very lacking in the coaching and consulting world. As I've said, when it comes to the life skill set, there's a way that you could get coached and consulted because of skills. But when it comes to the life skills, which in terms is the you skills, no one can tell you how to be you. You have to go through the process, the journey. And because our mind is so easily addicted to show me how, the big how. And I'm just telling you, there's no way. If I like the saying, the only way out of this is through it. So you need to go through the process for you to get your glimpse of what this is about. I cannot give you pinpointers. I cannot give you the exact 1, 2, 3 bullet points, because it's not I don't know who you are. I don't know your life, your lifestyle. I don't know what has been going on. So I'm hesitant to give any like exact answer, right? Unless I know Mike, one of my best friends since age of 9. I know Sharon, we've been friends since 2010. I know IJ since 7 years. So I can deal with their, because we know each other. Like knowing, like the Bible calls Adam and Eve, they knew each other in that kind of sense. So when you're doing your stillness, feel free, okay? There is no method. You're not trying to get anywhere. I'm not trying to get you anywhere. Again, the only thing is, here are some guidances. We're trying to get you from your head down to your heart, to start living here, to start getting attuned. Because we've been living in a world where it's all the mind. And I will address the mind later on. And second is to spend time with yourself, because you really don't know who you are. You let everybody else tell you who you are, and that's good and fine. So let's start. I wrote some notes here. One of the very first things, if not the first thing I learned from one of my earlier mentor, Bob Proctor, he showed me the diagram of a person, okay? Big head, the body, right? Okay, so imagine a stick figure. And he said that's a baby when we're born. Now, every baby is the same. We all have the same potential, have all the same energy capacity. We can do great things. But see, what happens afterward is the parents. Now, for good or bad or indifference, the parents are to be, I'm saying blame in both the good and the bad, like credit and blame, okay? Because they're the ones who pours into the baby's subconscious mind everything that the baby actually knows now. So whether they're 34 years old, a lot of it has to do with the parents planting stuff while they were little kids. I've read in a scientific journal that everything that happens in our life was basically because of at the age of 0 to 7. A lot of the wounds, a lot of the defenses that we have goes back to there. So with that said, as the mind, okay, we can have two babies born in the same family, okay, same background, same everything, but there's only the difference is baby A has been normal, baby B has been, let's say, has been guided by in a positive direction. Of course the results will be totally different. Because a lot of times we look at people's results and we kind of think, well, they did it because of hard work. That's part of it. They did because they were lucky. Well, that's part of it. We can always go, and there are so many factors. It's hard to trace almost anything in life back to its origin for it. But Bob Proctor did such a great deal in saying we were all born with the same things, and we really were. The only difference was what was our environment. And as you grow older, it's not just what was in your environment, it's what environment did you have within here, right? Your mind. And so that's a very important thing to point out. So you are a product of your environment, of you growing up. Acknowledge that. Yeah, I didn't know how middle class we were, because my parents just gave me the best of life. Whatever they could, they did it. And everything just traces. We can trace it back to somewhere when we were younger, and that's why Stillence is a good place where it just bubbles up, and you deal with it there without resentment, again, without any judgment. You just love it, okay? Because it's like a little kid coming up like, hey, I need attention. Remember what happened to me when I was 3 years old? You're not going to be like, no, I'm not going to listen to you. No, love it. Because that's the only way. Love casts out all fear. And all those things are really probably fear coming up and showing up. That you're not enough. That you're not enough. That's the basic, that's it. A lot of people, we go through, we're not enough. And we try to tell ourselves we're enough. Affirming those things will not help you as much. Because I'll talk about that another time, okay? So here's the thing. One thing that came up to my stillness today is I remember my Pop Creflo. He's my spiritual father, Creflo Dollar. I remember, excuse me. Okay, I remember Creflo saying how there was a time years ago when his son Jeremy came up to him and said, "Dad, I want to get an earring." And his dad says, "Say what?" Right? Jeremy said, "I want to have an earring." And his dad says, "Why do you want to have an earring?" And Jeremy began to kind of say like, "No, I want an earring because I just want it. It's not because I see it on TV or hip hop videos. I just want an earring." And his dad says, "Well, why do you want an earring? Where did that come from?" And Jeremy began to really say like, "It's just from me. I really want to do it. It's not because of any influence." And I remember Creflo saying to his son Jeremy how that's impossible because everything that a desire that you want came from outside interference. You heard it somewhere, you saw it from somewhere, and of course, Jeremy did, in fact, without even knowing it, it came from somewhere. Maybe his friends, maybe the media, maybe the hip hop stars, whatever. So that's a real talent thing. So you think you want something like because it's you, but really, did you just see it from somewhere? So, like this girl, Taylor, and she was saying like, she's 22 years old, and she really is like making things happen in her life in Buffalo, New York. And she was saying like, but I wanna be like the other people I see on Instagram and social media. And the question was asked like, who give me an example of the person that you've seen? And she named Kylie Jenner, right? The Kardashians. And see, here's the difference. See, Taylor is a great girl. And here's Kylie, who is part of the whole empire of the Kardashians. Something that Taylor kind of knew. Kylie went through a lot of plastic surgery. She already had a family over 10 years who's been planning her own success because they're built into the business of family. Okay, and they paved the way for Kylie to have millions of people, trillions of people following her on Instagram. All the fakeness. Is that something that you want to achieve? Of course, that's easily done. If you have the money that they've had, if you have the connections, and see, we get distracted by what really goes on in the process, and we're looking at things that we don't understand yet. That's what we want to shoot for, or strive for, or accept. So this whole thing, okay, these two stories I'm trying to put out is really what happens with stillness. It kind of gets you back to your original you, because you are an original. Yet right now, you don't feel like it. You don't think like that. You don't even act like that. You don't even live like it. And stillness is a great place to pull you back to who you really are. See, again, all the questions that's coming in, like how do I do this, but this is, no. Stay with it. Continue staying in the room. Continue staying in that space. Because the more you use your mind to think of all these questions, the more you're not being where you need to be in stillness. Ask yourself, okay, when those minds come up, say, okay, why did that come up? Do not be afraid to experiment in your own stillness. Because what the world needs now is more of people who are real. I'm getting out even more and more. The onions, the layers, the skins are just getting off of me day by day, and it's refreshing. Although sometimes it can be a bit unsettling, but I'm willing to go through the process, right? Okay. So I hope you remember that. That's every think of all your desires. It's probably because of something you saw. Sure, because the more I go into this video, we're going to deal with something where I need to really address. This video might be longer than 10 minutes, 20 or whatever, but stay with me. Now, I have a doctor who's named Dr. Glidden, and I like what he shared with me. See, if I drew a chart, and if you come to one of my events, you will see that quickly on, because I always share that. And in the pie chart, okay, it's a circle chart, there's a small slice of what we call things that we know. Like, I know I can do this, or I know I'm here, I know I live here, I know, okay, that's the things we really definitely know. And then there's a bigger piece of a pie, probably like this. So now, so there's the things we know, the things we don't know. This is the things we know that we don't know. Like, I don't know how to make a rocket ship. I don't know how to play XYZ game. I don't know how to fly a plane. That's the things we're sure we don't know. The rest of the pie that's not taken, which is more than 70%, 80, is the things we don't know that we don't know. Okay? It's the things that we don't know, which are that we don't know. So if that's the greater, and that goes for everybody else, I don't care. My IQ is 127. I don't know a whole lot of stuff. The thing that I do know, right? And here we are living this life. We think we want to know everything. Okay? We don't give space. We don't give allowance to, like, I always talk about the dimensions. Like, there right now, science has already seen there are already 12 dimensions in this world. And I'll talk more about dimension next time, because it's a really cool thing to really see and understand. Because here we are living on the fourth dimension. Actually, it's 3 dimensions, 3D, but it's really 4 dimensions that we can already explore with. And we forget that there's like 6, 7, 8, 9 other dimensions that we have no idea about. And then when we see something that does not make sense to our mind, we try to get that into our small thinking, our pea brain of understanding. And I want to remind us that the Bible says in Hebrews that as long as we're here on this earth, we will always see through the dark dimly, meaning we will not see everything so clear. That's why for the scientific people, the logical mind, I rather rest on someone that created this whole thing for me to kind of know through the spirit, like where to go, where not to go, what to do, what not to do, stay away from that person, connect with that person. I feel I have an edge, right? And what this is so basically what I put here, what I do is I focus on the things that I really do know. So some of the stuff I really do know is this world only reflects back to what you give it through your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions. There's no two ways about it. Okay? I know one thing, that God loves me. My Father loves me. And that has been my saving grace. I know that I must die to live. And I'm in the process of dying. I'm in a cocoon right now. So there are things that I know that I focus on that will help me with the unknowns. Because you do not think for 1 minute you could know everything about everything. You don't. Just like the last few months, I've been hearing both parties of the Trump and the Clintons bicker at each other, my friends. I stay away from that conversation because both parties don't know what they're talking about. They only hear what the media says, and if the media is the only place that you're getting the information, especially like a lot of people who are the Clinton supporters, they're getting their news mixed more so than the people who believes the Trump media. So, if you don't know really how it's built, and yet every time I tell the Clinton people, like, do a bit more research and find out what the Democratic really brought to America, slavery. They're the ones who started really the right between the black and the white. It's so ridiculous, right? And so I'm saying there's a lot that we don't know. Even me saying this, it's like I still don't know a whole lot about those two parties. And really, bottom line, whatever happens, it has nothing to do with me, right? So why do I want to exchange my energy for that when it's not a good thing? Really, like, it's really not a good thing to waste your energy on those stuff that really do not add anything to your life, right? So Okay, now I will talk about the mind, since I've gotten this has been the most questions I've gotten through in the message that I've gotten. It's about the mind. Like, are we supposed to like forget the mind? Are we supposed to like whatever thing that we're getting in our mind? Are we supposed to dismiss it, ignore it? And here's my take on it. Okay, here's my take on it. Before I give my take on it, I want you to understand. I've been with this fellow called Bob Proctor since 2001, and I've learned a lot about the mind. I've read everything that he suggested, more in depth than most people you know. I've dealt with Wattles, right? Sex and Rich. I dealt with like The Secret, all those law of attraction stuff, but I dealt with a lot of the mind issues, the neuroscience brain. Why I always say like the people who practices meditation, transcendental meditation, with a new age, you're gonna one day come up and wake up. Science already is now proving that that's actually hurting your brain and your whole mind. Even though right now there's a lot of calm results, they look calm, it's gonna be a rude awakening for them. So, and the Bible never talks about that kind of meditation, by the way. I mean, it's almost funny, but well, that's my worldview, is the Bible view, right? So, forgive me if you're not, namaste, okay? So, what am I about to say? I want to give the history that I've studied the mind more so than most people do, more so than probably you do. And I can't even say that as a fact because I really don't know what you did with the information you used. And I'll just say this to begin. God gave you a mind. That means there's a reason why He gave you a mind. Okay? And a lot of people say, well, I'll just trust God, I'll just, And those are the people I'm like, well, God gave you a mind, why don't you use it? God did not give you a mind to lay it down next to you and forget about it. No, He gave you a mind, okay? But you gotta use it in the correct fashion that He gave you the mind to. The Bible is littered with a lot of places where He shows you how the mind is to be used, right? And the way most of us are using it, it's really grabbing stuff from the past and putting that here, looking at our now and looking at our future and saying like we're not worthy enough, we can't do it. That seems impossible. Okay? So I'm gonna say, for all the people who questions were asking about the mind, no, you do not dismiss your mind. What I was trying to get to you was, especially when it comes to what you're supposed to be doing, because a lot of you, you're in a battle within yourself where you want to do this thing, okay, but this is safer, okay. The relationship is A or B meaning good or bad, but it feels safer here. You want to do something that really will be great for the world, but staying here is safer. And you notice the words I use all the time was safer. And how can you really live an exhilarating life if all you do is play safe? No wonder your life is boring. Seriously, no wonder you're always in your mind saying how poo-poo party, pity party, because you're always playing it safe, right? I mean, it's mind-boggling to me how people can live that year in, year out. And already there are books already saying like if you stayed in a job for 5 years, that's not 5 years experience. That's 5 years doing the same one experience over and over again, which is not an experience. See? So the mind is there for a purpose. Now let me tell you how I kind of see this now. See, I believe when you were born, you already were given a sense of guidance. Especially if you're a believer now, you have that more so than anything else. And I believe we must live with our heart, or what Sharon calls hardcore. And again, that's based in the Bible, Proverbs 4. Everything, the issues of life, and whatever issues you're going through, financial issue, relationship issue, all the kind of issues, it really comes from the heart. If your heart is murky and mucky, so let's call it murky, then the issues of your life will be murky. If your heart is calm and contented, guess what happens out in your life? You'll be calm and contented. This has been translated in so many different other kind of philosophy, but it's the heart. Now, your heart in the Greek, they call it, if you do research on the heart in the Greek, that is your subconscious, right? That's your spirit, your subconscious. Now, the mind plays a part of where, that's part of the soul, where that's how your body's here, that's how you could live in this earth, but your mind now is what pinks back things on the earth, which is good. Because, for example, I know, like, I need to be in a different place right now. Like, I just know that. But here's the thing, I don't know where. See? So I'll be in stillness. I pray in tongues. So I pray in tongues for 30 minutes, 45, and I'll just stay in stillness. And something will creep up, right? And like, it's actually what I'm going through now. Because right now, everything's the next location is a standstill. And I'm praying. I'm pressing on the leading of the Holy Ghost for that's concerned. So, but that does not mean I stay away from all the information and data that comes through or research. No, that can only help you, right, in your intuition. Because, like the other things, okay, let me take away the life big ones like purpose and calling. Let me deal with the other small issues. So like, I saw Remova, and I knew like that was for me. And then when I went to the website, I started comparing the different models. And see, that's the data part. That's where I have to use my mind. Then I figured, okay, this is the best place. When I'm shipping things through the States and everything, I don't just like, okay, bad, right? I know I need to send something, I need to receive something. I look for the best way that can be sent to me. That's where you use your mind. When I do coaching or consulting in the marketing world, yeah, that's a lot of mind. There's a lot of strategies, a lot of things, right? Tactics. Well, so I'm not saying you dismiss your mind. I'm not saying you don't use it, but when it comes to your life, meaning like everything, we do not live in our hearts enough. We live here way too much. And that's the reason it's a hit and miss. That's the reason you're not getting the phenomenal results. I didn't say results, I said phenomenal results, where it shocks the socks out of you, where things started happening. It's like, whoa, wow. So even right now, at this present time, I'm dealing with stuff like I don't know, but it's like my grandfather used to teach in basketball, when you're supposed to use your tips of the finger the same way that you use the tips of your finger in a dark room, and you're feeling things out. And then, okay, I got this. This is the flashlight. See, it's the same way. But, there are many verses in the Bible where God says He'll use your spirit as a candle to show you the way. Or He will direct your path, or trust in the Lord with all your heart. All these verses, you have to bring it down to your subconscious, to your heart. And then, later, before you know it, you're going to start knowing certain things. And of course, there are many stories of my other brothers and sisters who people say, that's insane, how did you know that there was something wrong with a brand new truck? And he said, because I just heard the Spirit tell me, like, don't buy the truck yet, there's something wrong, I want you to check it. And then they found out something was broken. Imagine if he had spent the money, bring it home, and then discovered it days later. See, God goes before you. He knows. And to think that you're scientifically logical, if that works for you, go ahead and do it. I'm just saying there's a world of other people that wants to live with their heart, that their heart is screaming for something else. Well, why don't you take a look at that in your stillness, right? Again, I don't want you to dismiss your mind, because your mind is powerful. And actually, your spirit is already perfect. Your mind is what needs renewing. So now let me tie this all together. If, like I always said, you have to trust your intuition. I wanted to create a program of intuitive life, but then basically we all have that intuition. It's one of the greatest GPSs you can have. But most of us are not specialized in that. We don't practice it enough for us to really get it. When I was driving years ago, and I was just driving on this side of the road, right? I was going down. I just heard this little thing in my spirit, like, turn left. And then now. So I turned left now. What happened? Almost immediately, a big truck came that direction. But if I had ignored that thing in my spirit, I would have been... You might have not even seen me here today. You don't know. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Remember what the Bob Proctor story of baby being born? Well, if you put so much fear into the baby's life, and I'm speaking to you parents here, if you have a daughter or a son, I'm not a parent, but I deal with a lot of parents, and a lot of them are putting fear. You say you love your kids, and yet you trick them into fearing things that are not supposed to be tricked. Right? So the same way that you put fear in your, oh, baby, don't cross the street. You might die. You don't have to tell them they're going to die. There's a proper way to educate kids without fear. Because once they grow up, right, and they've lived, with you for 16, 17 years, now there's a lot of fear things inside them. Well, I better not take this because mommy might not love me anymore. And you push them so much into the fear base that they don't have the courage to live in this life with such adventure, with such free spirit. So, how do you do it? Well, do it in a place of love again. Love casts out all fear. Baby, let me show you how to cross the street. Okay, so when you see the cars, automobiles, if you cross it without stop, look, and listen, what might happen is this. And you can even show them, got a doll, so that they get the experience of it. But you don't have to put the fear into them. No, because, and I hear a lot of people say, like, Papa Jesus will not love you, which is the biggest lie. He loves you. God will love me whether I kill someone today or not. He loves me. See, that has been my truth ever since. My Father loves me no matter what I did, no matter what I do. And here's the greatest news. He's not going to love me any less. And he's not going to love me anymore. So nothing that I do will make him love me even much more or much less. I'm just stable with him, see? So I hope you take whatever I dish out in this video. It's a bit long. But I tried to, try to put this. Because one thing I know, I work better with individuals, personal. That's where I see the greatest results. And I'm trying to do it now online, and I'm still in the practice of getting thoughts down through a video succinctly. But I hope you get something out of this, okay? So tomorrow will be, I'll call it Sacred Sundays, where we put our intention for the next week going on forwards. So, this is Jersey Howard Co. signing off for Super Saturday.